I'm Alan Johnson, KU2Y, and this is the CubeSatSim assembly video, step 8, part 2, assembling the frame. So we have the board stack that we have put together, and we have our 3D printed frame parts. We have our solar panels with the JST connectors on them and various hardware, and we're ready to put things together. Now, this video is for the USB sound card, which is connected using a OTG adapter into the Pi 02. If you instead have an OTG cable like this or like this, then there's a different video that you can watch that will give you the exact instructions. They're very similar, but you can find that one there. The tools you'll need a small Phillips screwdriver for doing all the hardware. You'll need some scissors for cutting the strips of double stick tape and Velcro. You may need needle nose pliers for pressing the nuts into the frame. And you may also need a small flathead screwdriver for helping remove the tape on the double stick tape. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to start by getting the top and bottom of the frame ready. So we have our top and bottom parts, which are identical. And pay attention to the placement of the SMA holes there. The solar panels are going to go on it like this, and we're going to cut 2 pieces of double stick tape here in order to attach it. So I'm going to peel off one side, put it on the frame, peel off the other side. And remove the film. Now it's ready to stick on there. So I'm going to feed in the JST connector, line it up so that it's centered and straight, and push it on. And there we go. Now also going to press 4 of these M3 nylon nuts into the frame. Now, usually you can do it just with your fingers, just by pushing. There we go, that worked. Sometimes you have to clean out the 3D printed holes a bit if they're not quite good. Second one. And sometimes you need pliers to do this if it's hard to get it in. Here we go. So I've got all 4 here, and I've also done the same for the other part. The top and the bottom are the same. There's no difference between them. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to mount the board stack in the frame. And I'm going to put the frame upside down here so you see the Pi 02 at the top there, and frame here. And notice I have the 2 SMA holes are on the right side here, and that should line up there. So I need 4 screws. Now, before I do that, I'm going to route the ribbon cable for the camera. So the camera needs to come out the same side as the sound card here, which is opposite the remove before flight and the LEDs. So it needs to come out this side here. Also, it has to be flipped so that the camera lens faces out. So you have to put a twist in it like this. So basically this is how you want the ribbon cable to be routed. It's much easier to do it now. You can do it after the fact, but it's a bit tricky. And it won't stay like this, but you can hopefully get it on here like this. Here we go. And now we can mount the 4 screws here. And I'm just going to start each of them until I have all of them in place. Okay. There we go. Now we can tighten them. Okay. So you see how it's coming out the side here, and the camera is facing up like that. Okay, so I'm going to flip it right side up again here. And again, you can see how the camera goes there. Since this is the top of the camera, this is the bottom of the camera, and this is the bottom of the frame. Okay, so we are all set. And now we're ready to do our first side here. So we're going to do the frame side with the camera mount. It's got the holes on it with the camera. Now this frame part does have an up and a down, and if you look at the camera, well, you can see that, but it has 2 holes at the top and it has 2 holes in the middle. So the edge with the 2 holes is the top. So that means this frame, you see that there's 2 holes at the top here and 2 holes in the middle, and then nothing on the bottom. So that means this is right side up with this frame. If you put it in this way, the screws will go in, but the camera lens will not come through the opening. So make sure you do it like this. So if I just line it up there and lay that on there, okay. Now I need the very small M2 screws and M2 nuts, and I'm only going to do 2 out of the 4 screws, and I'll show you why in a minute here. So I'm going to get this screw started. There we go. And now do the other one. These tiny little screws are pretty fiddly. Okay, now I got them both started. Now I can tighten them up. There we go. Okay, so I've done 2 screws and I've done the middle ones, and the reason for that is if you take a look at it here, that I did these 2 screws here, the ones in the middle opposite the lens. These screws here are going to get covered up by the solar panel. When we mount the solar panel, it's going to go like that. So that means that in order to take the camera off, you would have to remove the solar panel. And the 2 screws holds it quite securely. So those are the only 2 that I do. Okay, so now we have that done, and we can put the frame up here like this and push it down. All right, and I'll take 2 of these M3 nylon screws. I'll put them in the bottom here. And tighten them up. And I'm just going to get them started. I'm not going to tighten them until the rest of the frame is put together. There we go. Now one thing, notice that this ribbon cable is kind of bulging out here. It's sticking out beyond the frame. Don't worry about that. It will, once you put the solar panel in, that will get held in there. One thing you do want to pay attention is the routing of this audio jumper cable here. Make sure that it routes on this side here and that it goes inside the frame. So you see how that is inside there, goes across. Okay. So that is one side complete. Now let's turn it around and do the other side. So now I have the side piece that does not have the camera mount. It does not have an up or down. And I'm going to need 2 of the M3 screws to secure it. Now I'm going to have I have the RBF remove before flight tag here, so I'm going to feed it through the middle hole here. That way that will go in here. Okay, that looks good. So now put these 2 screws in. And one trick is if you don't push really hard when you start screwing these screws, if you push hard, you can pop the nut out of its slot there. Whereas if you just do light pressure on it, along with turning it, it tends to, the nut tends to grip, and then you're good. Okay, so that is the second side done. So now let's add the solar panels. So we're going to have 2 solar panels here, and we're going to apply them with double stick tape. So I've got 4 pieces of double stick tape that I've cut, and I'll put them on the frame here. And notice for the bottom here, I'm going to stick it to the side frame, not to the bottom. That just makes it easier if I ever have to disassemble it in the future. Okay, so we've got 4 pieces there. Now we just need to peel the film. Sometimes tweezers can help grip it. Okay, so now we're ready to mount the solar panels. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually feed the JST cable through, just because it makes it easier to do it before you stick it. Okay, so that is ready. And I'm also going to put it in here so that it doesn't extend beyond the bottom of the frame, and also make sure it doesn't cover up the push buttons there. So if I line that up, put it there, and push it on. Okay, that's one solar panel. Now let's do another. Poke it through here at the top. Again, I'm going to make this one go as low as I can, but without blocking the push button or the LEDs. So that's pretty good there. Okay. So we have those two solar panels attached. Now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So we're going to take two solar panels and 4 pieces of double stick tape and do the same thing. Actually, I'm going to put a thinner piece there because that was sticking. Okay, so now I'm going to peel off the top film. Okay, and we're going to feed these through the same as before. So we'll start with the bottom one here, feed the JST connector so that it goes all the way to the top, where it's going to plug into the solar board. Go. There we go. All right, so we have 4 of those solar panels on, and you see how it looks from the inside here. We have all these JST connectors coming up, and we should start attaching them now. Now one of them, this one here, goes all the way down to the bottom. That's the solar panel on the bottom, which is the -Z. And so there it is here. If it's on the other side, you might want to fish it around so that it comes around that side. So I'm going to plug it in here. Go. And then here, these are the 2 on the +X side. So I'm just going to plug them in there. And there. And then here is the -X side. So I'm going to plug these 2 in there. Okay, so I have all 5 solar panels are plugged in. Now we're ready to do the top. So this is how the top is going to go. And we're also going to use the hardware for the SMA and the SMA antenna. So we've got those there. Okay, so this is going to go on here like this. So if I flip it around, and I can poke in the SMA connectors, SMA coax, put the washer in, tighten the nut, and do the same on the other side. Okay, and you might want to nip those up with the pliers, just so they sit straight and your antennas sit vertically. Okay, so those are in there. And we also want to plug in the JST connector. It is the plus Z, which is the top. So it's going to be plugged in here. Here we go. Okay, so now I'm ready to put the top on, but we're not going to attach it. We're not going to put the screws in and tighten it until we've put the remaining 4 solar panels on there. So I'm going to line it up here, and then I'm going to push down on it. And what happens is the coax is basically getting bent. And if you take a look, you'll see that they're fairly drastically bent here, both of them. And normally this is a very bad idea to do to your coax. I don't recommend it, but in this case it's okay. It's extremely flexible, and there's virtually no power going through it. So it's okay, and it's really the only way to make it fit, but also make it so that the top can be removed in the future. Okay, so we are ready to go now. And also let's just pay attention to the way the audio jumper is routed here on the other side. So here's the remove before flight side with the LEDs, and over here is the camera side. And you see the audio jumper cable, it's all routed inside the frame, and it just goes up the middle here. And the solar panels will hold that in place, no problems. Okay, so let's do the final 4 solar panels. So here are the solar panels, and these ones are going to go here and here. And the thing is, because they connect between the 2 pieces of the frame, I'm going to use Velcro for them so that they can be removed. You can still use the double stick tape. It's just a bit harder to remove them. And if you ever have to take the frame apart, those pieces have to come separately. So I'm going to cut 5 pieces of Velcro here. Okay, and I'm going to stick them. I usually try to put the same side, right? There's one side of the Velcro that's kind of clear and the other side is sort of white. I like putting the clear side on the frame so that you don't see it much, but it doesn't matter. But it's a good idea to do it all the same, whichever way you choose to do it. So I'm going to use 3 pieces of Velcro on the bottom and 2 on the top. So I'm going to mount those on there. If I can get it peeled here. Okay, so there's 3 for the bottom, and now we'll do 2 for the top solar panel. Okay, so those are all ready to go. Now I want to peel the top film off. Okay. And one more. Okay, so now I'm ready to mount the frame, mount the solar panels on the frame. So I'm going to make the JST go towards the top here. And also you want to make sure the cable don't stick on any of the pieces of Velcro. So I'm going to line it up. There we go. That's one. And the second one here, do the same thing. There it goes. Okay. Now we will do same thing on the other side, where we also need 5 pieces. Of the Velcro, and our last 2 solar panels here. Okay. And one last piece here. Okay. Just need to peel the top film, and then we will be ready to stick the last 2 solar panels. Sometimes you can also use a blade instead of a flathead screwdriver. Sometimes that works better. Okay, ready? Do the same thing. Route the JST cables towards the top. And stick the solar panels on. Okay, there we go. Now, we need to attach the solar panels. So to do that, we need to pop out the top here. So I'm just going to open the top a bit here, and then hopefully, actually, it's easier if you attach them before. So here they are here. I've just kind of poked them out, and they're going to go right there. Okay, that is one. There we go. You see both of those plugged in. And just push the wires in. And now let's do the same thing on the other side. So here are the two wires, and that's where they're going to plug in. That's one. And two. There we go. Okay, so you can see we have 3 on this side, 2 on that side, 3 on this side, 2 on that side, plus the 2 power connectors there. So now we just need to push the wires so that they're on the inside and they don't get stuck in the frame there. And now we are ready to put the top down. And then put in the M3 screws. Okay. And again, you just want to push them gently while you're turning them. That way the nut won't pop out till it catches. Okay, that's good. Those are on there. And 2 more for this side. And make sure it's pushed down all the way. See how that's, if you can see that needs to go, I need to just hold that down with my finger while I push it in. Here we go. So they are all started now. We could then go back and retighten all of them. But basically we are virtually done here. All we need to do is to screw the SMA antennas into the top here. And then I will take out the remove before flight plug, and that will verify that everything is good. And I see light inside, so that's encouraging. And we should see the green power light come on, and then the blue transmit light should come on, and then we should hear it transmitting. Okay, so this completes the frame assembly.